Okay, we're going to show you how to attach a car power adapter for your GPS device. This is, in all intents and purposes, in case you cannot use the micro fuse or micro connector, or say this connector does not match your fuse box. No big deal, there is a workaround. And this goes for most fuse harnesses, but this is for this particular model. Basically, we just want to power our GPS device under the hood and instead of the interior of the car. And so what we're going to do is, this is a type C connector here. This is the positive micro fuse that we don't need, and this is the ground cable. Okay, so we're just going to cut this cable here, and if I can find needle nose. Okay. Okay, cut that off. I'm going to pull back the sleeve so that we have a little bit of wire exposed. I twist it a bit so it's easier to work with. Okay, got that. Next, I'm going to grab the butt connector and some pliers. Okay, you can use your needle nose, but I like pliers because we don't want to crimp. We don't want to break the plastic when we're crimping the cable. So we're going to put that cable in. You want to do it right on the metal to metal contact, not too far in. Then we're going to crimp. Show you how to do that. Simple pair of pliers. There, and that just kind of pinches perfectly. All I did was use the inside, I don't know if you call that a knuckle, but that inside gap there of some pliers in order to crimp. You don't need a professional crimper or anything special. Next, we're going to set this down. We need to expose the wire here. Oh, and let me explain a little further. Why are we doing this, first of all? Why are we why don't we just directly connect this to the positive terminal? Because we want a fuse somewhere involved in the line, and if your harness came with this, which this one did, it has an inline fuse, and we want to make use of this because, if you remember, we cut the only fuse we have on this wire harness. For safety reasons, we always want a fuse, at least a 3-amp fuse, in line on the positive terminal. Okay? Just to protect the harness and your device when they're being powered constantly. So this one came with handy dandy little inline fuse. There's a little 3-amp there. You can see 3-amp microfuse in line. So we're going to remove the plastic sheathing from both sides, and I'm going to do that now with a needle nose. Okay. Okay. I twist this a little so it's a little stout. Twist this side a little. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get this on video. There. Okay, so I got it in there. I didn't push it too far in. I just want the plastic sheathing of the wire to just go maybe a millimeter past the metal, so not by much, so that when we're crimping, we're actually crimping onto the metal cable, the wire itself, not the plastic sheathing of the wire, but the metal cable. Okay, there we go. Pull nice and firm. We're looking good. Okay, so now what we have is this little apparatus we built here. It's got an inline fuse, so we're safe. We've got the 12 volt to 5 volt converter here, the power adapter, the car power adapter, and the Type C. Okay. Next, what we would do is, let me get my wrench, socket wrench. Okay. I'm going to loosen this positive terminal here. Attach it in there. Okay. And I got that attached. Okay. You just put it under that nut, that coupling back there. Now we're going to do the ground terminal. Okay, it's nice and tight. You'll see it's attached to the ground terminal. We'll go ahead and attach our GPS device. Make sure we have power. We're looking good. We've got power. As you can see there. Okay. Power indicator. Every device is a little different. This one has the power light just below here, the red light. So we know we have power. This GPS device has a magnetic option as well as a Velcro option. Whenever you're on the exterior of the vehicle, like underbelly and things like that, magnetic option's great. If it's not a permanent install, magnetic option's great for again, the exterior. But use the hook and loop or Velcro or whatever you want to call this here piece if you're attaching a more permanent solution. For example, you want to attach it to the interior, or you need to tuck it somewhere, for example, under the plastic sheathing or airbox area, or you want to hide it somewhere discreetly, right? So in my case, what I would do is I would take the time to clean up this wiring. So I'd unravel this wiring. I would use tie straps with little tie strap mounting stickies. Okay, and I would pretty much bundle all of these, something like this. I bundle these cables either together like that if I had the room to do it, and I would start hiding it where a thief wouldn't see it or couldn't see it, or behind the airbox, or in areas. Also think of where a mechanic won't mess with it if you take your car to a mechanic. Places where you just don't want others to tinker with your device or your harness. Just think of areas where you can hide the wiring and hide the device without it ever being messed with, right? Obviously we cut the leftover tight strap piece here, okay, because we don't need that. But this is an example, just an example. You can get these at Home Depot or Lowe's. They come in black. I just had the white ones available. So yeah, you can get the black ones. And what I would probably do for this install, every vehicle is a little different. I would attach this cabling somewhere down here. Somewhere down there, and then I would attach this device likely right under here. It'd be perfect. Has plenty of reception. It'll penetrate through the plastic, through the hood. It's a perfect location. Super convenient to access if I need to work on it in the future or disconnect it. Maybe I'm going to take it to the dealer and I don't want them to see all this. I needed to just quickly disconnect everything. You can easily do that by making it accessible, for example here. So again, to see where I put it, right here. And every car is a little different. And I like this because it's plastic and it goes through a metal hood. So it can go through the metal hood and go through plastic, but what we're trying to avoid is metal upon metal upon metal. So burying it under here somewhere, probably not the best install, because at the end of the day, these devices are receivers, GPS receivers. So they need to receive from satellites, which are obviously millions of miles away, and we want to make sure we can receive those satellites. So giving it the best opportunity to do that is highly dependent on how good of an install job we do by balancing hiding it creatively and mounting it strategically where it doesn't have a huge impedance of being blocked by thick metals or multiple metals or super reinforced metal, you know. So again, plastic here is perfect. Somewhere in the air box, if you're okay with tinkering with your air box. Somewhere on the opposite side of the air box, so you're not in the air box, but you can do it, for example, here, tucking it around, tucking the wiring all around, and then hiding this on the other side of the air box. The only people who mess with the air box would probably be you or the dealer when you get it serviced. So that is how I would install this device on this SUV. Every vehicle is going to be a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same. The only thing different is where you're going to place the tracker at the end of the install. But when you want to wire to the battery, it's essentially the same. All right, thank you. Bye.